Hi, everyone. Today is Remote Wednesday, and you are all comfy cozy at home getting started with your day. This morning, we're going to review what 9.1 was all about the last couple days, and then this afternoon, during your independent learning time, you'll be doing some practice in your paper packet. So in 9.1, we learned what a coordinate plane was and how to set it up. We learned how to name points on the coordinate plane. We learned how to plot points on the coordinate plane. We learned how to find reflections across both the x and y axis of the coordinate plane. And finally, we plotted and connected points to make polygons. So just some basics. I know this picture is a little fuzzy, but just remember that when we make our coordinate plane, our x-axis crosses directly in the middle of our y-axis. It breaks the plane up into 4 quadrants that are named counterclockwise. Quadrant 1, Quadrant 2, Quadrant 3, and Quadrant 4. To put a point on the plane, we use coordinate points or an ordered pair. In quadrant 1, our ordered pairs will always be 2 positive numbers. X and Y will be positive. In quadrant 2, our ordered pairs, X will be negative, but Y will be positive. In quadrant 3, both the X and Y will be negative. And in quadrant 4, X will be positive and Y will be negative. Also remember, we always list the X coordinate first. The X coordinate tells us which way, left or right, positive or negative, to move first along the X axis and then up or down, positive or negative, positive being up, negative being down, which way to move along the Y axis. So we're going to use this same picture of this grid for a couple different skills. So on this page, what I want to know is what location on the grid is known as the origin. I hope you said 0. I hope you said 0 is the origin, where the 2 lines cross, and that is point 0, that is the origin. So now let's talk about naming points. Remember, we joked, the points don't have names like you or I, Karen, Stephanie, etc., but we name them according to their coordinates. What I'd like you to do is see if you can come up with the names for point Q and for point N. And then I'd like to know what quadrant point W is in and what quadrant point R is in. I just noticed a spelling error and I apologize for that. I hope you came up with point Q was 0, 8. We didn't move anywhere along the x-axis. We stayed right on the y-axis. So we did not move left or right. So that's why x is 0. In my y, I moved up 8 points. Point N is out here at 7 along the x-axis and down here at -5. Quadrant W is in quadrant 4, and point R is up here in quadrant 2. So plotting points is a little bit more difficult. I'm going to try to go ahead and plot them for you in model. So for point K, I know that that's telling me my x-axis is 3 and my y is 2. So I move over 3 and up 2, and I put my point, and I make sure to label it K. Let's do another one. Let's do J. J, my x-coordinate is 4, and my y-coordinate is 0. So I move along the x-coordinate to 4, but I don't go up or down at all. So J actually sits right on the coordinate on the x-axis. So So now let me see. I'm going to try to get rid of these markings. So now we're going to talk about finding reflections across we're going to talk about finding reflections. So what is the reflection of point R across the x-axis? Remember, that means to go to point R and literally cross the x-axis. Literally go straight down, cross it over, find that mirror reflection, that symmetrical point. You're also going to look for the reflection of n, but this time it's going to be across y. And again, literally, you will cross over the y-axis and find that symmetrical or mirror image point on the other side. Please do that now. That's right. Here's the reflection of R. Point R was at -5, 6. The reflection is at -5, -6. My x coordinate is the same. My y coordinate is the opposite. I just realized I plotted n across x as well. Okay, I fixed n. N is now reflected across y. My original point n was at 7, -5. When I cross y, my x coordinate is now the opposite, -7, but my y coordinate remains the same. So let me bring this back into presentation mode for you. So now we were working on plotting points and joining them. So let's see if we can do this one together. Point E is at 0, 4, 0, -4. So I'm going to go ahead and put my dot E here. F is at 3, -2. I'm going to put F here. And G is at 3, -6. And I'm going to bring that down here. G is at 3, -6. And I'm going to go ahead and join them. And I end up with a triangle. So I plot the points, I join them together, and I end up with a triangle. So let's go ahead and get rid of our triangle again. So this question's a little bit more challenging, a little different. I've already plotted 3 of the points, and I'm telling you that the shape should be a rectangle. So what would the 4th point be? Where would that 4th point go? Well, I hope you realize that point should go at 2, 4, right? If we put a point at 2, 4, that would finish my rectangle. I could connect the dots and end up with my rectangle. So that kind of brings us to the end of our review. Your job now is to show what you know, okay? This afternoon, during your independent learning time, you're going to complete the pages EP11 to EP15 in your extra practice paper packet. Notice it says do the odd questions only. You do not need to do every question. You are doing the odd questions. 1, 3, 5, so forth and so on. Please make sure to ask any questions today about anything you have seen, and I look forward to seeing you online later this morning.